Looks like we are live. So,
Live.
so welcome everybody to episode 14 of the Shadow Collective Star Wars podcast. I am Darth Eldor, and I'm here with my good friend Swampgrass
Hello.
and Andy Beats,
Hi.
and we're here to have some fun chats about Star Wars.
Is that why we're here? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh
The usual.
boy. Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay. So, how you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Went to a football game today. I'm ready to go for the podcast, talk about some Star Wars, some really exciting stuff in the last couple weeks since we last talked. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Yep. Same here. Same here. Always ready to talk about Star Wars.
hmm
Always excited to talk about Star Wars.
And how about you, Andy Beats? How's things?
Good. Can't complain. Busy week, but glad to be here and chatting it up with you fellas.
Definitely. All right. So
Wait. How about you, Eldor? How about you? How was your week?
That's right. How
How
about
was
you?
how was your 2 weeks, right? Because it's been 2 weeks.
Just like you guys, been a long 2 weeks, but we're at a good point here, and we're gonna talk about some good stuff. So you can always be excited for that.
Oh, there we go. Turn that off. Okay. Excellent.
Oh,
Excellent.
Okay. All right. So let's get into some of the news because there seems to be a lot of things. But a few things came up over the last couple of weeks. We did an update on this Lando project, which was supposed to be a series. We found out that Donald Glover and his brother were suddenly taking over the project from the original writer. Now suddenly we're finding out that this series that we're supposed to be getting is actually just going to be a movie. So, in its own little way, it's kind of funny because they just seem to keep altering the deal.
Yeah, right, eh?
I'm gonna go. Let's see. This host acted like this was Glover's idea. They hadn't consulted with Lucasfilm on it, but that's definitely not the case. From all reports, Glover's have been developing the project for a while, possibly a year by now, minus the 4 months the strike has been going on. While the idea of turning it into a movie was maybe not their pitch when Simeon left, the original writer, I doubt this was something they thought of and didn't consult with the company. Glover's joke about the strike is probably about Lucasfilm possibly having changed their minds over the 4 months of labor stoppage. Because of it, they haven't been able to communicate with the studio. So if Kathleen Kennedy wants to go back to the Disney Plus format, they wouldn't have known about it. Now, this has happened, of course, but there was a bit of a disconnect between the two in the conversation. There's so many questions about this, though. In usual Lucas fashion, the story behind the making of the project will be far more fascinating than whatever the. But how many movies does this company want in some sort of development where they can actually put one out into the world?
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot.
What do you guys think about this?
Justin Simeon was the director.
Justin Simeon, yes, correct. So, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of a movie, but I was kind of looking forward to a series to like kind of get to know some more characters in the underworld and all that kind of stuff. But a movie is always cool though. I like movies. Like as far as Star Wars, they're always very cinematic and you know, they put a lot of extra production into it, so I think they'll do a good job of it. And looking forward to seeing that movie, but I think I would have preferred a show.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm on board with this because like I think people still have. Oh, they're like, oh, this is the Lando from that Solo movie, right? Oh, that Solo movie didn't do too well, right? So I don't know. It probably already has a couple red flags for people already. For me, I was looking forward to a TV show, I guess. I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, depending on how long the TV series would be, I would imagine it's like eight episodes, just like every other one. Each one was like 30 to 40 minutes long, I guess. I don't know. I think there'd be more development in a TV series rather than a hour and a half, 2 hour movie where they're going to compact everything and kind of, unless they want to try to make it into a trilogy. I don't even see what you would do
Lando
there.
trilogy.
Like, why would you want to do a Lando trilogy? I have no idea. But I don't know. We already have these other movies that are confirmed already, and who knows? I mean, they were saying they haven't been conversing, I guess, because of the strike, right? So,
Right.
Yeah.
like, this could be all taken out of context too. You know what I mean? Like, I know it says, what's this here? His interview there. Oh yeah, I can pretty much be like, yeah, we're doing I mean, it's not even a show. The idea right now is to do a movie, but like that's the thing right now because of the strike, everything is kind of up, kind of a telephone game. All the information coming out, right? So, what do you? It's not even. I don't know. I would rather see the TV show, in my opinion, but I know they're pushing to get movies out, so I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
how about you?
It's weird because everything in my brain is saying maybe this would be better as a movie because overall I can't think of too many Lando stories to really about like where would you go with this character. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably a bunch of ways you can go with this character. But yeah, as I think about it more and more, yeah, I'm finding myself a little more disappointed that this is just going to be a movie instead of a TV show. And it's like, yeah, this just. I mean, yeah, you could probably throw this into a 2 hour, 2.5 hour movie, but at the end of the day, there was just something in my brain about possibly seeing Billy D. Williams just sitting there and maybe starting having a like I don't know if you remember that part in Solo when Donald Glover was sitting there and he was what did he call it, the Lando Chronicles or whatever he was calling it, and he was sitting there and he was talking about his adventure going somewhere or whatever he was doing, and I could see Billy D. Williams sitting there and pulling this thing out, same thing out, and going in and saying, yeah, I remember that time when I went out to Tanab and we had a huge battle there, and then suddenly it just kind of like goes out into the story, and now we see Donald Glover as the young Lando going and doing something for 40 minutes, and we get a good story out of it, and it's like, yeah, that sounds great. I think this really would play better as a TV show. Why aren't we doing this?
Right.
Why are we cutting this down all of a sudden? So I don't know.
Like, I know there's enough adventures that you could probably fill with the Lando stuff. Is it interesting for the majority of the Star Wars fans or anybody outside of the Star Wars community? Like, is it going to be interesting for them to watch this? I don't know. Like,
There's probably
I just,
some people.
there is, but
I
I don't know.
I
Like,
think it would be because of the Donald Glover influence, the childish Gambino
like
hip
I'm not.
hop kind of
I
possibly he would bring like a really fresh soundtrack and like a very new feel to the if it was a series. with a movie, I feel like they're gonna go super Hollywood with it and just like giant action scenes with like big scores and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
But then with the movie, you're compacting a story that they're probably been developing for a year. Maybe they're saying like it's turning more into a movie because there's so much content that they're creating or so much information. They're just saying that, hopefully it's not. Hopefully this is just them saying, oh, it's people, it's being taken out of context. But
Yeah, it could be
I
just a
really,
thing where they're chopping out all the like filler that nobody wants to see anyways, and then it could be doing us a favor.
I don't know.
My thing is, I'm thinking they're thinking instead of coming up with a few different stories, why don't we just latch onto one of the stories and just extend it out for an extra hour and just make like one grand story that we're doing for like one of the detailed stories. And it's like, I'd rather watch a series if we're going to do that.
But is it even needed right now? Like, do we even need this Lando thing right now? To be honest, like, I'm all for Star Wars stuff, but do we need to throw this in right now? Like, I just don't.
Honestly, we probably don't. That's the worst part. But this is also the same thing where I'm going to say, do we also need 3 to 5 seasons of it? No.
No, absolutely not.
I think we could come out with like one good season. Like, I'd rather see them come out with like one good 8-episode season of this, where they just kind of make it a one shot, almost like the Obi-Wan series is supposed to be, one shot series where you just get to sit there and have Lando, and like I said, just make it where you have like Billy D. Williams come on in the beginning. Oh, I remember that time. And just have him go through some of his old stories, some of the things that made him who he was, and at the end of it, hey, all right, we got 8 interesting stories about Lando Calrissian that we never knew. That's it. I don't need 12 seasons of it. Maybe if it's good, if it's really that good, and people love it, people.
Oh my gosh, man.
But my point is, if it's really that good and people enjoy it that much, maybe we come out with a second season of it. That's as much as you need.
Well, the way that Disney and Star Wars continues to lose viewers and whatever, like, who knows? Like,
well, I think sometimes, and I can't believe I'm about to use this as part of my argument, but I'm thinking if you're gonna do it, go quality over quantity. Make the stories good, and then, like I said, and just pop out something that's really good. These two guys have a history of writing good stuff. As far as I know, this show Atlanta that they do is amazing. Everyone loves it. Bring some of that energy to the Lando, make a good 8-episode series, and that's all I need.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything against the writing or the directing or whatever it is. I just don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel like we need it right now. You know what I mean? Like,
I feel like it is a boost a boost for the Star Wars community in general. Like if it does gain the popularity like those type of shows, because like it's kind of like, remember when Lizzo and Jack Black were in that one episode of Mando, and all those like non-Star Wars people wanted to watch it just because of that. It's kind of like that, I think. Like I was saying with the Donald Glover thing, like people that aren't Star Wars lovers possibly are going to want to see it because of Donald Glover and his influence on it. So I think it is a good move.
I mean, I get that. Yep.
Just looking at the chat real quick, and by the way, hello to everybody in the chat that's here.
Hello, everybody.
I'm just looking at Bones and saying it's okay to say the writing for Star Wars right now is mediocre at best. In the case of Ahsoka, I almost tend to disagree, but that's another point that we'll get to in a little while. Other than that, I do fully agree with you. Yeah, it's mediocre at best, but like I said, when it comes to this Lando series, we're talking about the Glovers, and the Glovers have a history
they're
of
writing it themselves.
Some really good stuff. I would love to
Bangers.
see them. I would
They
love
have a
to
good
see
reputation,
them.
yeah.
I would love to see them put that reputation into just taking it and writing a good series for this show. And like I said, just make it one superstar season that is just great. And let us have 8 good episodes. I think I'd rather have 8 good episodes of a series that I can go back to than just have it be one movie. Because at least then you can cover a couple different stories. Maybe there is some interesting stuff that you can make up about Lando Calrissian that would just be fun, just fun stuff. It doesn't. Not everything in the Star Wars universe has to push the narrative. Some of it could just be
Yeah,
fun.
and also, like I was saying last time, that's kind of the time frame of Infant's Nest, so it'd be kind of cool to see more of her story as well,
Yeah,
which
who knows?
they
Maybe
could do if it was a series.
Hey, who knows? Like this could be, we could be saying this and it could just blow everybody's minds. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
who knows, right?
yeah,
I'm ready. Let's go.
yeah. But yeah.
Nest is a hottie. Yeah.
You're
Those
not wrong.
freckles.
You're not
Those
wrong.
freckles.
I ain't mad at that. No.
All right, so
All right,
moving
let's
on
move
from
on.
here, we're gonna go into our next story, which is about
Oh, this guy.
Taika Waititi.
Oh yeah.
Now, here we are
Good
once
Lord.
again talking about this guy. Don't get me wrong; he's a great writer. He put together a pretty good episode of The Mandalorian. Directed a very good episode. He's written some great things. I thought his Thor movies were really good. He's a good guy, and they gave him a Star Wars movie, and now he's basically coming out and saying he's joking about the idea he's just never gonna finish making his Star Wars movie, never gonna get that. So I'm just at the point now with him where it's like I don't even want to hear about it anymore. Just stop talking about it.
Let's just sweep him under the rug. We're just
Yeah.
forget about him. That's it. You know what?
He's
Until he actually
definitely
produces
creating-
some sort of like
He-
information that the movie is going ahead, just don't even like.
Yeah.
You know what he's producing though is lots of press. We're talking about this every single episode. Pretty
Yeah, right.
much, this
It is,
guy
though.
has
It's
something
true.
going on
But I think that's the problem is that do we need to keep talking
Every
about this
single
every
time.
episode?
Well, we're
Right.
going to because we're probably
Yeah.
going to see it again.
I mean, yeah, if he makes headlines, that's
But-
that's what he's successfully doing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh man.
So this story comes from the Bespin Bulletin, and we'll just read through it here. It says it's been over 3 years since Lucasfilm announced that Thor: Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi was writing an untitled Star Wars movie that he was also set to direct. But there's been no real progress in that time, it seems. However, the filmmaker still manages to find the comedy in the situation.
Right? Like,
Before we continue with the news of the day, actually, skip that. That's not.
let's skip that. Yeah, that's not it.
The Jojo Rabbit director is currently at the Toronto International Film Festival, where he premiered his next directorial effort in the much-delayed flick Next Goal Wins, which is due to release in November. Unfortunately for the director, the film has scored mixed reviews from critics in attendance and is currently categorized as rotten on Rotten Tomatoes, with a mere 57% and an average score of 6.2 out of 10, the lowest rating of a film Waititi has directed since 2007. In addition to promoting and premiering his next release, Waititi also presented fellow filmmaker Sean Levy with the fifth Tribute Award. Levy, just like Waititi, is working on an untitled Star Wars film. Best known for
Is everybody getting a Star Wars film? Like,
apparently, it's like I'm trying to figure out where these are all going.
yeah, what is this?
So, best known for his work on films such as Night at the Museum, Free Guy, Real Steel, and The Atom Project, along with directing various episodes of Stranger Things, was revealed to be working on a Star Wars film in the fall of last year and was set to focus his efforts of the project once his next film, Deadpool 3, Sorry. You say
Just Darth Rand was saying the audio was going in and out for you, I think.
Oh, I apologize. Is that better? Can everybody hear me fine?
I can hear you the whole time. I was checking
Yeah, I can hear you.
like I listened to the stream for a couple seconds there, and it seemed like you're sounding fine.
Okay, sorry about that. I do still have to work on some of the audio here. It's always a
Seems
work in
better.
progress, guys. All right, where was I?
Deadpool 3.
Deadpool
Thank
3.
you, thank you. Deadpool 3 was revealed to be working on a Star Wars film in the fall of last year and was set to focus his efforts of the project once his next film, Deadpool 3, had been released. Currently set for a May 2024 release, and filming was halted in July due to the SAG strike.
The sad strike.
Yeah, pretty much. Is that strike still going on, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
When presenting Levy with his award, Taika Waititi, as expected, made various jokes during his speech, one of which was in regards to his long in development Star Wars movie. The What We Do in the Shadows creator quipped that unlike him, perhaps Levy will actually manage to finish the script for a Star Wars movie. And here's the quote. Once he's had his way with that franchise, like a cruel and indiscriminate virus, he'll move on to another, and another, and another. And then eventually, probably Star Wars. And unlike me, there's hope he'll actually manages to finish the script for them. I must stress that Waititi comments are very clearly of a joking nature, as you can see for yourself. I've often seen some fans strike out over the director's comments in the past, some due to the context of his comments either missing or going over people's heads. In addition, and more commonly, I've seen some lash out purely because they don't like the idea of Waititi handling a Star Wars film. See, I don't mind the idea of him having a film. Just if you're not gonna do it, don't do it. Or if you're not gonna ever get to it, just say I'm never gonna get to it. So that's it. It's over. Just don't continuously play with my emotions and let me think that you may or may not make one in the next 27 years.
27 years.
I
That's where it's leading to right now. Yes,
but it feels like it's been that long. That's the problem.
I know. Yeah.
I think the like what it's referring to though is more in the line of like he doesn't care about canon, he doesn't care about rules. He's gonna come in there and he's gonna stir up a can of worms, so to speak. Like that's what he likes to do, right? So
Which is why I'm not too keen on this movie that he's doing. Like I don't know. Like I'm not a huge fan of his work lately. Honestly,
yeah, like the Marvel stuff, like to people that like really care about canon, those things are very much outside of the realm of what they enjoy. So,
See, I mean, for me, it depends on where it goes. I mean, if you're gonna try to give him a story in the heart of like the original trilogy or something like that, and he's just gonna go and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do whatever I want." Yeah, no, I don't want that at all. You're gonna give him a story somewhere 2,000 years before all this stuff happened. Okay.
Yeah, something remote.
Yeah, play around, have some fun, because we don't really have anything established. So, I mean, there's places where he can make his movie where we would be fine, just don't go messing with the good stuff. So to speak.
Yeah. I don't know. We're not going to hear the end of this, I don't think, for a while.
I mean,
it's just beating it down here.
Next podcast, Taika Waititi's found his mojo, and he's just getting started on this movie.
Yeah, he's just getting started. Oh my gosh, really?
Imagine it ends up.
What have you been doing?
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Imagine it ends up being like a Marvel Star Wars crossover.
Oh gosh, don't even joke about that, please. Oh no, thank you. That would be the one Star Wars movie I would not watch. Just saying.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
the trailer has like Asgard there with like the Rainbow
Ah.
Bridge, and then like Luke Skywalker is standing there.
It's
Oh.
like the world between worlds
Yeah,
forms into
yeah,
the bridge, like
yeah. It's actually
or
Asgard.
one of the portals is Asgard. Oh, come on, get out of here. No.
Uh,
Uh, just
All right.
let's just sweep them under the rig or under the rug for now, please. Just let's move on.
All right. Let's move on to the next story. So this one came from Star Wars Newsnet, and it's talking about Guillermo del Toro. And over the past week, he confirmed that he was working on a Jabba the Hutt Star Wars movie, written by David S. Goyer, who is also developing a Dawn of the Jedi script. Um, so let's just get into the story. Rumblings about Guillermo del Toro working on a Star Wars film have been going around literally for a decade, most of them based on truths. The filmmaker got a phone call about Episode 7 right after Disney acquired Lucasfilm. Though he turned it down, he said he was in conversations with top executives of Lucasfilm, publicly discussing his idea for a Jabba the Hutt movie, Godfather style. That almost sounds interesting. Well, it
for
seems
sure.
like the idea was more than just a couple of conversations over drinks. David S. Goyer, the famed screenwriter behind The Dark Knight and Man of Steel, who already worked for Lucasfilm on the VR game Vader Immortal, did an interview recently with Josh Horowitz to promote the second season of Apple's Foundation, and extended beyond virtual reality. Apparently Goyer wrote a full script for a Star Wars movie that Del Toro was going to direct, and a scriptment that between a treatment and a full script for an Origins of the Jedi movie that sounds a lot like James Mangold's announced film. And in a quote, it says, "I wrote an unproduced Star Wars movie that Del Toro was going to direct. That was about 4 years ago. Then I also have a scriptment for an Origins of the Jedi movie, also for Star Wars, that took place 25,000 years before Star Wars." Hmm. Del Toro caught the Twitter post with a snippet of the interview and replied saying, "True, can't say much. Maybe 2 letters, J and BB. Is that 3 letters?" When pressed about what went down that terminated the project before it was further developed, Goyer said the following. There was just a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on at Lucasfilm at the time, but it's a cool script. You should ask Guillermo about it next time you have him on. It's a cool script. There's a lot of cool artwork from it that was produced. Here we go. Greer says that happened about 4 years ago, which seems to line up with the 2018-2019 window where Lucasfilm was going through a lot of turmoil on the film side, when everyone freaked out about Solo, a Star Wars story, underperforming at the box office 6 months after the disappointing fan reaction to Last Jedi. That resulted in getting Rise of Skywalker across the finish line however way they could, and in the studio deciding they'd be shifting gears for the next little while, focusing on streaming. And the rest of this just kind of takes us off in another direction. I don't know. What do you guys think about the idea of Godfather style Jabba the Hutt movie?
So for me, the biggest thing is I really like the idea of that, but not from Disney. I feel like Disney is not the person that I trust for that kind of story, unfortunately. I feel like it's not gonna be dark enough, not gritty enough, or really like true to the origins of like, uh, you know, a gritty underground gangster, you know,
Okay, okay.
rated R film. You know what I mean? I don't think they're gonna do that.
The Jabba father, yeah. Howard Chew.
Nice.
The Jabba father. Oh man. I like the I would have loved to see Del Toro work this movie, because I mean I don't know if you guys know Del Toro's work, like with the monsters and the creation stuff that he's done with certain stuff. Like I think I don't know, the monsters and the aliens would have been super cool in this, probably. New stuff brought in. I don't know. As far as a Godfather type, yeah, I'm with Swamp on that one. It's not. I don't see it being doable within the Disney umbrella. Um, which is probably why they were probably like, "Oh, yeah, we're not doing this." So just
Yeah.
Yeah.
like,
We've seen your script
okay,
somewhere around the trash can over there.
yeah. I mean, it's intriguing. David S. Goyer. I mean, he's like the movies he was involved with, Dark Knight, Man of Steel, like some of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. And the Vader Immortal game was actually pretty cool. We have it actually on our Oculus here
Oh
at
yeah, I
home.
remember you
Yeah,
talking about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was pretty neat. And I've heard a lot of things about the Foundation show as well. So, but I think it would have been interesting. But it does seem like the Dawn of the Jedi script has kind of been passed on, obviously, to James Mangold, right? So,
Mhm.
I'm wondering if there's any things, if James Mangold has seen that script and kind of took ideas from it, or if it's all new stuff that he thought up of, or I don't know, it could have been,
Or fully ripped off, maybe.
or yeah, ripped off, or maybe he asked
It's hard to
David.
say, really, because
Yeah,
that
like I don't
industry
know.
is so like secretive, right? Like
Well,
anything
especially
could be
Star
the.
Wars,
Oh yeah, absolutely,
you know.
absolutely.
But
I suddenly had some great ideas for what I wanted to.
and then David's going, that seems very familiar.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
It's
No, you're good.
totally
David,
different.
you're
Totally
fine.
different. It's
David, you're good.
totally,
Yeah.
totally different.
David, you want to get drinks, David? Let's go. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds interesting, but yeah, like Swamp said, I don't think it would work for sure.
I think the funny thing for me is I think I said it when you first presented the story to us, and it was just like the idea of a Jabba the Hutt movie just didn't really interest me at
Right.
all in the first place. Godfather style, that kind of raises the bar a little bit. Makes me think that could be a little more interesting. But you're 100% right. Disney would never find a way to make it work correctly. Um, they would really have to. They would really have to let go of the reins on Lucasfilm to let them make that movie. And I just don't. The way things have gone,
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
For this movie to even push forward, Star Wars would have to. This is Star Wars getting out of Disney. You're gone, and
Yeah.
Star Wars is back on their own again, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think Book of Boba Fett kind of is what makes me think that, is because I was kind of expecting that kind of thing from Book of Boba Fett, like when we were all hyped up about it before it came out.
and
We're like, oh, this is
then
going to be gritty, it's going to be dark, it's
yeah,
going to have like some underworld elements to like be really gangster, and then it was
Then here come the Vespas.
and
yeah,
then what
very
happened?
colorful.
Vespas
It was very
and
colorful.
eating fruit at the end. Yay!
There was
Good job,
some
guys.
a little bit of naked wrestling. There was I don't know. It was not what I expected. That's for sure. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what makes me think like it if they tried to go like the gangster tone in a movie, they would miss the mark. Yeah.
And I think I think it gets thrown into that category with the other two things that we were talking about earlier, where like I don't think, I don't know, maybe people are not as interested like like Eldor said, like it's not. It sounds cool, but I don't know how interested or how much people will put interest into watching it. I don't know. Like, and again, if it's not if you're saying it's a Godfather movie, if you've seen The Godfather, you're expecting the bar to be pretty high. If you're comparing it to if you wanted to compare it to a Godfather
Classic.
style movie,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
But that's the thing. It's like at the same time, I think that's the only way you could take a Jabba the Hutt movie to me and make it worth me wanting to go watch.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna go watch a Star Wars movie no matter what. But
amen.
But at the end of the day, Jabba the Hutt is not a story that I'm looking forward to. Just the same way I felt about Boba Fett. I'm not a Boba Fett fan.
Right.
Doesn't mean I wouldn't sit there and go watch a Boba Fett movie. It's just you really gotta give me something to be excited
unless it's
for.
a crossover into Marvel, then no.
Boba Fett versus Iron Man. That's the new movie.
There we go.
Gosh.
Oh man.
All right.
But no, also too, like with Jabba the Hutt, like for me, if that was a thing, it's got to be like gross too, right? Like we know he's like slimy, he eats like gross things, and I just again Disney, I don't know if they can push that envelope.
They won. No, they couldn't.
Yeah,
I don't
even
think
just
they
like
would.
the scenes in the old movies, like of them, him even just eating the like bugs or whatever he's eating. I think that's too much for Disney right now.
too much ASMR.
Yeah. They're like, no, this will not do.
Yeah. That sounds too
No.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So let's move on here. More of an upbeat one here. Dave Filoni has praising Rosario Dawson as the most positive, uplifting person on the Ahsoka set. Saw it, said, hey, maybe there's a good story here. Definitely something positive and happy to hear about. Also from Star Wars Newsnet. Says Star Wars fans who may have been missing some lightsaber action are having their own Christmas season now. The Ahsoka series, currently into its 4th week on Disney Plus, has featured at least one lightsaber-centric big action set piece per episode. The special mention of Part 4's 3 duels, and of course the Clone Wars sequences Dave Filoni wrote into Part 5. Obviously, this was to be expected for a series featuring Lady Tano confronting bad guys. The lead actress Rosario Dawson knew as much. In an interview with The Wrap conducted before the strike, Dawson explained how she was very aware of the character's physicality. It would take a lot of effort for her to pull off even a mature version of the character we met in the Clone Wars, and for that, she had to undergo an intense training program. She didn't take it lightly. As Dawson explained, her team suggested 5 days a week schedule, but she argued the week had 2 more days. Okay.
Intense.
Right. Let's see. This is a quote from Rosario. This character is so physical, and so the training was really important to me. I wanted to train 7 days a week. They weren't trying to get me to train 7 days. They wanted me to take the weekends off. And I was like, absolutely not. 2 hours every single day. And I started months before we were supposed to start training because I knew that that's such a dynamic part of the character. Being able to physicalize that, can't pretend. Obviously, there's a lot that I'm pretending because I'm not an amazing martial artist or force-wielding Jedi master. There were a couple of headshots that got through, but to be able to get into that space and not just feel like a costume, I feel like I was embodying this character. Being in her world was really, really special. See, it says here, it was also a big moment for Dave Filoni, who has been overseeing every step of the character's journey in the Star Wars galaxy. Filoni told the trade that there was even a point which he realized the hard tasks she'd put on Rosario Dawson through the writing. This is a quote from Filoni. This is, at the end of the day, she has to be Ahsoka live on screen right there in the moment. I think that she really grabbed hold of that now. she's comfortable in that skin. She respects the fans and their love for the character. That's a lot of pressure on someone. And to wield lightsabers not just with one but two hands, sometimes I look back and think, oh my gosh, what I wrote and put her through, all the training, all the fights, was that even reasonable? But she did it. And I've got to tell you, Rosario, just from the morning to night, is the most positive, happy, uplifting person on the set. I'm so proud that she's the person that is playing this character. It's significant to me, and we couldn't have done better. It says here, if everything goes well, the season finale will not be the last time she puts on the Leku. There are already plans for a second season of Ahsoka that would lead into the big screen event Dave Filoni was announced to be directing earlier this year. However, with 2 strikes going on at the moment, everything is up in the air. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, just saying that it depends on the performance of the show and all that.
I mean, honestly, if I'm going off of the performance of the show, at this point, I can't see how they wouldn't make a second season. So far,
Right.
I think the show's been amazing. What do you guys think so far?
With the show?
Oh,
Two thumbs up.
with the story, with the show. What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
All right. So with the story, I think that's really awesome that Rosario Dawson is like, having that really awesome connection with the character and the Star Wars crew and all that stuff, because I think she's doing a great job and on screen. So maybe that's part of a reflection of that, right? So, and the part where she talks about like not just being a costume, I kind of feel that with the character too. Like I feel like she really feels like she's Ahsoka. I almost found, I guess I'll talk about this a bit later, but the young version of Ahsoka was a little bit different for me. But we'll talk about that later when we talk about that episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, who would not be like the most up? I mean, from what I gather, she's kind of like that on all her sets. She's very humble. She's very like, all of her everything she does. She's that type of person, right? And it tells, or it what's the word?
Reflected.
It reflects, yeah.
Yeah.
It reflects, excuse me, on the performance in the show. Like the movements in the fight scenes, you can tell there's lots of, she's put in a lot of time to make it look the way that it does. And I mean, bravo to her for sure, especially, moving around in a costume or whatever it is. How much of it is real on her head, the Leku. I know some of it's probably CG down here, whatever it is, because of the movements, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But I mean, again, like, who wouldn't be as positive and whatnot? I would love to be a character in Star Wars. I don't even care who the heck it would be. You know what I mean? I'd be so like, I'd have a smile on my face all day long. And I think she was also like, she's also a Star Wars fan as well, I believe, from what I gathered from earlier interviews or whatever. But man, yeah, it shows that she loves this character, and
Well, from what I remember somebody proposed the ideas. I think, I don't know if it was like a Twitter thing or whatever, but somebody had kind of like sent a message to her saying like she would make a great Ahsoka Tano. And I think it was around the time when like the Mandalorian came out and they were talking about the potential of having an Ahsoka Tano character on. And when she caught word of it, she was like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do that." And from that point on, she kind of pushed herself, like I want
Into
this,
the role.
I want this role if you guys are offering it. And I think seeing that she is now playing the character, I mean, basically, you're playing one. Obviously, like you said, she loves the franchise. She loves Star Wars. She loves being in Star Wars, and she gets to play the character she's always wanted to play. How can you not have a smile on your face every day?
Right.
Not only, like I said, not only being in something this amazing, but being the person you wanted to be in this.
Right.
In
Yeah.
this,
She basically picked the character that she wanted and saying, "This is who I want. This is what I'm doing."
and they said,
Like,
"Yeah,
and they
let's do
said,
it."
"Absolutely, let's do it."
And it's kind of cool too because like realistically, previous to this show existing, she was kind of like a side character, right? It's kind of like, oh, Robin's my favorite. And then they offer you a role as like, okay, this is the Robin movie, you're the star. And it's like, dang.
Well, a lot of people
Yeah.
argue that that Clone Wars was more about Ahsoka than it was Anakin, right? So there's that
I can
argument
see that,
between
yeah.
that, right? So that you know, where Ahsoka was Filoni's baby, you know.
She does
so,
have a lot of screen time in
Yep.
Clone Wars for sure.
Yeah. So who was the Robin there? Actually, she still was.
She was, yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Um,
I don't
yeah.
remember Anakin calling her master. Let's just say that.
Fair enough. Yeah. I suppose. Yeah. She's doing a great job. The whole. We'll talk about the Ahsoka stuff after, but yeah, I think it's the right choice, and I think she's doing a wonderful job.
Totally agree. All right, so moving on. We're going on to apparently Hasbro had their convention called Hasbro PulseCon, and they announced a whole bunch of new Star Wars products. Basically, they announced. I'm just gonna go into some of these. I'm not really going to sit here and read through every character that was announced. No. I'd lose my mind as well. But they've already announced Black Series for Balin Skull and Shinhati, which I'm sure people are excited for. They announced Black Series Star Killer.
Oh man, yeah, look
which,
at that.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, that big Force Unleashed box. It has like the sphere, lightning, and the stormtroopers and everything. Man,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, it looks pretty badass. They also announced, this is the one that gets me a little bit.
Oh wow!
But they're calling it the Sabine Wren Force Effects
lightsaber.
Dang. I mean, sure, I guess you can call it the Sabine Wren lightsaber now, but I mean, deep down, I still know
it's still Ezra.
It's still Ezra Bridger's lightsaber. So I kind of have I still have a slight problem with that, but I can let it go.
I feel like it does kind of look a little bit different, though. What do you think?
I mean, maybe it was spray painted or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, I wouldn't expect her to know how to craft a lightsaber.
No, but she maybe Ahsoka tuned it up for her or something.
No, I mean that's. I guess that's a possibility. We'll have to. I hope they touch on that if that's the case. But that's something else. They also have the Captain Rex helmet, which kind of looks interesting to me.
Well, it's battle scarred, battle worn. Like it's got scores everywhere. It's got the markings on the side for
the kills.
I guess.
Battles. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's how many days he was captured one time or something.
I don't know. Yeah.
And the one thing just because of our Star Wars background, the Star Wars Vintage Collection HK-47 and Jedi Knight Revan, which on the package says Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for Revan and HK-47.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah, I see it there. Yeah.
Galaxy Heroes. Yeah.
I can't help
Well,
it. I kind of like that. So,
it kind of yeah, it doesn't really say like EA games or anything on it. They just yeah. Hmm,
but yeah,
interesting.
and that's just. I mean, that's only just a couple of things that they announced. I mean, looks like your
We
Red
we need to
Fire.
figure out a way when we're looking at stuff like this to kind of like put it on the screen,
Show it.
possibly
Yeah.
show it, so we're getting all excited, but nobody's like,
Uh,
oh, what are they getting excited about?
Oh, that's
Honestly,
true. I could drop
honest,
a link at least so they can check it out.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
There's the link.
drop the link.
Yeah,
Drop
Um,
it
check out
like it's
that link,
hot.
guys. That's for that
I,
shows all the toys we're talking about.
I think this is also one of those things where, I mean, looking at all this stuff, I almost wish I had seen this sooner than I did, just because there is so much more here than than even
The
meets the
Phelan
eye. It's like,
skull looks really cool.
yeah, it's like if I had known this was here, it would have been nice to prepare for that, to be able to put up pictures and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But hey, that's we're learning. We're getting better at this.
We're learning. Yeah, learn.
All right, so let's move on from this. And now that we're into the toys and games category, so to speak,
Yeah. So yeah.
um, let's get on to the next story, which is talking about the Star Wars Jedi series. And apparently they were having a conversation with Cameron Monaghan, and kind of they're saying what towards the end of his conversation, he kind of almost pretty much leaked out that the third installment is coming. Let me just see here.
Well, he pretty much confirmed it that they're working on it right now. But I mean, as far as how much, because of the strike and everything, before that he just got done saying that he hasn't worked in 2 years. So like, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just gonna read it. All right, so following 2019's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and its 23 sequel, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, a new and third game in the series is officially in the works. The news doesn't come the way of developer Respawn or publisher A, but Cameron Monaghan, the actor behind Cal Kestis, protagonist of the series. Unfortunately, this is the extent Monaghan had to say about the next installment of the series, which was always inevitable considering the success of the first two games. I don't think we really need to go much farther than that. I mean,
no.
like I said, I believe when they were talking about this game, they were always saying this was supposed to be a trilogy at the end of the day. So the fact that there's going to be a third one doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah, not at all.
Both games are excellent. I've played them both. I love them both. I can't wait for the next one. um, I know the two of you. It's not really your style of game, but it's
I wouldn't say it's not my style. I just haven't gotten to play it yet. So
okay. That's fair. Also,
like, I'll play it. I just got to get around to doing it. I still have the first one. I just haven't cracked it open yet. Other games keep coming out.
I understand. All right. So I mean, but what do you guys think about the news that we're getting a third Jedi game?
I hope it's a mobile game. Yeah. No, I'm into mobile games mostly, but yeah, no, it's cool. Like, I know a lot of people really like that franchise, so it's good for Star Wars, and yeah, I like Star Wars, so there we go.
You like Star Wars? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
That's news.
You think you're doing a Star Wars podcast then, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what do you? Yeah, what are we doing again? Yeah, I mean, of course, it's. I think it's inevitable. They'd already said it before. That and the success with the games already, like obviously you're gonna continue to do it, or at least make a trilogy out of it, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not surprised. I am kind of surprised a little bit with Cameron being able to say that, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe he got some backlash from whatever. But I know he didn't reveal anything other than they're working on it. But I mean, it's kind of a big reveal. But
I mean,
uh, we kind of knew that was happening eventually, right? So I guess it's more so now they're working on it, I guess, or they're thinking, or they're in the early stages of it, probably. I would imagine. So,
I'm
Yeah,
oh
thinking.
my gosh,
oftentimes it seems like we get more information from leaks than from actual, you know,
yeah,
news conferences or anything like that.
Yeah, like I said, I'm thinking if this was really meant to be a secret, it's really the worst kept secret out
Yeah.
yeah,
there.
well, yeah,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that it's coming out. I'm not surprised that he's going to be in it. I'm not surprised by any of that. Um, I think the only surprise would be if they brought the ponchos back into the game,
oh,
which,
yes,
that's about as
do
far
it.
as I can go. um, so yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoyed the first two. I'm sure the third one will be just as good, and yeah, I'm just ready for it.
Excellent.
All right, so I'll take us into our last story of the day, which is about Star Wars Eclipse. We had gotten basically this really crazy trailer back a couple years ago for a game from Quantic Dream called Star Wars Eclipse. All you see is a race of people that we don't know playing a bunch of drums, going across the galaxy. You see a Jedi here, a couple Jedi with some lightsabers fighting. We see different worlds that we don't even know where we are. Some pretty well crafted characters. We see Yoda looking outside of a Jedi temple, and at the end we just see this like dark creature coming out of this pool, and we are sitting there saying to ourselves, "What the hell did all this mean?" and but it looked really good. Um, and then we never heard another thing about this game again. Well, luckily, Quantic Dream this week came out and said their game is still very much in the works. Um, it says here in 2021, fans were very surprised to learn that a new Star Wars game from Quantic Dream was on the way. This was shortly after Disney began greenlighting more Star Wars games outside of EA Studios, which EA's had that exclusivity agreement for a long time. Ubisoft was confirmed to be working on a new Star Wars game. There were a couple new titles from EA, but Quantic Dream's game was interesting. Developer is known for its heavy focus on single player stories, and the game is confined to be set during the High Republic era, a period in Star Wars history that has not been seen much up until very recently. Um, After the reveal in 2021, the game went quiet outside of some very, very general updates and rumors. It was reported that the game is still many, many years away. It was using a trailer to recruit developers. Uh, really not here. One of the big focuses we had when we announced Star Wars Eclipse was to make sure it was clear that this was actually an action adventure game that has all of the elements that you would come to expect and want from a Quantic Dream title, which is intricately branching narratives, multiple playable characters. There's no game over, anyone can die, anything can happen, and the story sort of continues so that those signatures are still there. But what we've been doing is even more ramping up our rare expertise in the gameplay arena. Now, it sounds awesome what they're trying to portray here,
Right.
but we also have to remember this is the Star Wars universe. You have to be very careful with some of the words you said. we can't just have an anyone can die situation because
Yeah,
we're talking about Yoda, who is going to be in this game. Yoda can't just die in this game
yeah,
because
like
that kind of
thousands of years before.
that kills a lot of
Uh,
continuity in the game. Um, I mean, obviously, the the big thing is that this game would be canon. Because pretty much everything that is released now, unless it's basically said otherwise. So unless you basically come out and say this is just a side story within Star Wars where anything can happen and it just makes things interesting, okay, great. Let's have some fun. And I don't mind if you come out and say it. Don't tell me this is going to be the story and suddenly somehow Yoda dies and we're supposed to accept that that's how the story goes and Yoda's not really Yoda anymore or whatever. So I know I'm kind of dwelling on that a little bit, but I've got to make sure that it's there. um, but this this trailer definitely intrigued me the first time I saw it. I'm glad to see the project still going. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I'm always excited for Star Wars, a Star Wars game, a new Star Wars game, I guess. I mean, obviously, it's still, yeah, it still seems like it's still far away before this happens. We're gonna get that other game beforehand, the Outlaws game, probably before this one, I would imagine. But I do remember the trailer. Well, I mean, I remember the trailer vaguely, I guess, but um, you saying all the Yoda stuff and the banging of the drums and all that stuff. Yeah, it came back a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know what else. There's not much really to say about it, to be honest. But I am glad that they're still pushing forward, and they kind of let us know that it's still happening, and they're still trying to upgrade their, working on certain things and stuff. So, I mean, that's a plus, right? So, I mean, they're
yeah,
saying, well, sorry. Like at the bottom here, they said something about the other games that they made, Heavy Rain and Detroit Becoming Human, had good reviews by critics, but have been consistently criticized for the writing and heavy-handed themes. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Well, I think the last line also says something there too about also remains to be seen how Eclipse's branching narrative will impact canon.
Right. Yeah. So
like I
yeah,
said,
comes down to writing again.
like I don't want to keep dwelling on the Yoda thing, but you gotta be careful with the potential of things like that happening and trying to tell me that that's how the story's meant to go. But outside of that, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. It's I'm excited for it. It's just I still want some more. I still want some more information. I'm just happy to see that it still exists. And Swamp,
Sorry, Swamp.
I don't even think we even
Yeah.
got to you. I'm
What
so
were you gonna say,
sorry.
Swamp? Sorry, buddy.
I was gonna say that trailer back when it came out, that was really awesome to see. Like, just it was very visually stunning, so I got really excited about it. But then, yeah, just the lack of information was like, is it a thing? So to hear a little bit more that it is going to be a thing, that's cool. That's cool. I definitely want to hear more about um the High Republic, because we've heard about this era and there's books and all that, but ain't nobody got time for that. And
Reading
and
what?
and I would love to see something more digestible than a book per se. And
Well,
yeah,
I mean, we do have the Acolyte, which is supposed to be coming out soon.
right,
We still don't
true.
have a date on it yet. Um,
Hmm.
but like I said, I started reading the first book. Um, but like you said, I ain't no one got time for that.
Yeah,
So I just haven't really been able to
right.
really get back to it. Um, But I mean, the first book it was interesting. It definitely presents some new ideas. Um, it yeah, I just think it takes a little.
Brent is dead.
Well, I guess
You're
that pretty
right.
much says it all.
Brent is dead. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's like it presented some interesting ideas, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's yeah, I still have to finish reading it before I can really put down a serious opinion about it. So maybe it's something I got to do over the next few weeks. Maybe we'll have book time with Eldor or something. I don't know.
Book time with Eldor. All right, kiddies. Yeah. I've watched Ghostbusters too many times. Yeah, I did too. I ran my VCR when I was a kid of that 1984 movie. I ran that dead. Brent is dead. So was my VCR copy of Ghostbusters. Oh. Wait. So, know what would be a great game? The Jabba Father movie.
Yeah, it would. It would.
The Godfather.
Especially
Yeah. Not
make it
even
like
Disney.
GTA, Jabba.
Yeah, GTA style, Jabba the Hutt movie game. Oh my gosh.
Jabba Father
Roll,
Theft Auto.
roll it through the tough streets of Mos Eisley.
Yeah.
It's
Get
his,
you a colorful Vespa.
what is it? His skiff, his sand skiff or whatever there.
Oh man.
Oh man. Anyways, yes. Sorry, I had to say that.
All right, so now that we've gotten through the news, guys, let's get into
Okay, sorry.
All right. We had two episodes. We have two episodes of the Ahsoka show that we got to watch over the last couple of weeks, and I'm really excited to talk about them. So why don't we get into it? Obviously we just had part 5. Where we had left off was basically Ahsoka going into the world between worlds and meeting her master, Anakin Skywalker, which is where we left off. And I remember how excited we all were to see the next couple episodes. So, going to part 5. Who wants to read about part?
I'll read it.
All right.
So we were expecting to see Anakin and Ahsoka the first scene, but we didn't. So part 5, Shadow Warrior. So the runtime for this, 49 minutes and 50 seconds. So this is like probably the longest one so far, or I think. I can't remember. I don't know. Huh?
I think it was the longest anything so far for Star Wars.
I think there was a 53 somewhere. So I feel 53 is in my brain right now, so I don't know why. Okay, anyways. So Syndulla arrives on Cetos, where she finds Ahsoka and Ren gone. While investigating alongside his mother, Jason Syndulla senses that Ahsoka is in the world between worlds, thus revealing his own connection with the Force. In the in-between space, Anakin explains to Ahsoka that he had been watching her through the Force and deduces that her loss with Skull is partially due to her unresolved guilt over the events that drove them apart. Ahsoka loses a duel with Anakin and relives fragments of her past during the Clone Wars, during which she grows concerned that her legacy will only be one of fighting. Believing Anakin's teachings includes his legacy as Darth Vader, she initially refuses him, determined to not be held back by the past, which leads to another duel between them. Finally understanding that she wasn't involved in Anakin's downfall and that her legacy is her own choice, Ahsoka chooses to live and continue fighting. Ahsoka is recovered by Syndulla's crew, and through her powers, she learns that Ren is with Skull. Syndulla is contacted by Mothma, who informs her that New Republic forces are en route to take her and Ahsoka into custody for defying the Senator's orders. As the Republic fleet detachment arrives, Ahsoka recruits a pod of Purgle to take her and Yu Yang to Bridger and Ren, while Syndulla, Jason, and Chopper stay behind. So directed by Dave Filoni and written by Dave Filoni. Wow, fellas, what an episode! What do we think? What do you guys think of all this, man?
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, all right.
We're all in shock.
Yeah, it was really great. I really liked the Anakin fight scenes, like particularly the second duel, because basically we get to see a version of Darth Vader where he's not missing an arm and a leg. He's a whole man, unencumbered by machines and all that, just full speed and force, everything combined. And that was very cool. I really enjoyed that. But also very cool that
Lord Vader. Yep.
Ahsoka bested him too. So that was also very cool to see
Right.
to see her be that strong. Yeah. Yeah, so I really like that part of it. One thing I kind of didn't like is when they were going back into the flashbacks, they were a little bit loose on stuff. Like the the one where Anakin was not there on the Siege of Mandalore when she has the two blue lightsabers, when she's with Rex and they have the red helmets and stuff. So Rex has the blue helmet instead of the red, first of all. And then and then also Anakin says, "Oh, I don't remember this battle, whatever." And as much as like he didn't fight in that battle, he was the one who sent her there and gave her his battalion, right? So I think he would
Well, I
likely
don't think he was aware of that's what they were calling it though. Like I think he was more saying I don't remember I don't remember this battle because I wasn't in the battle. I mean, he probably remembers the name of it probably, but I think he was saying it just because he wasn't there. That's all he was referring to, I believe.
And actually, if you go back to the battle itself, when they were on the ship originally, and they originally met with Ahsoka, they all had the orange or red helmets. But once they got into the battle, Rex actually did go back to his normal.
to the blue.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was actually correct. Even
okay.
I was gonna say that was the one. That was the one that I. Those scenes in the Clone Wars were the ones I really enjoyed because.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it gave us a look into how. I mean, my God, how good would a live action Clone Wars series look if we got that?
Right? Oh, geez.
I feel like they kind of shorted us a little bit. Like there was not one battle droid scene in the whole thing. Like they're all just like you see the walkers that the clones were using,
Yeah.
and you see the like explosions and the smoke and the kind of smoke and mirrors really hiding the battle from us, and we don't really see any droids or tanks or anything like that. So
That's good movie magic, man.
But
yeah, I feel like we could have got a little more.
But I understood why we didn't get more because it wasn't about that. It was about progressing this thing between their dynamic between master and apprentice, and that was the important thing. That's what we needed to talk about. I mean, because even then, even as they're talking and you have young Ahsoka sitting there talking about wanting. I don't want to be this person that's only known for fighting. I don't want to be this person who basically. I mean, this is what my master turned into. And even at that point where Anakin turns around, looks at her, and says, "Is that what this is all about?" And that's when he pulls out the lightsaber, and he's like, you've learned nothing. You've learned nothing so far. We're going back to the beginning. and they went right back to it. And it was like, it's like, okay, he's like, we're not leaving until you get this, you get beyond this.
Yeah.
And
Until this lesson is taught.
Yeah, and I thought it was
learned.
That's pretty much what happened. He's like, you're gonna learn today. It's like,
yeah, you're learning today.
Yeah, gonna learn today.
You were learning today, or you're dying. That's pretty much what it is.
And yeah, I think it was very well done.
Yeah, and also too, like the imagery around Anakin just so great. Like when it shows him walking to the battle, like his back, and he's like shows the silhouette of Vader, and it's just so powerful, right?
Oh,
Very
it's
cool.
like oh man, you saw it all over the internet. People just this is my favorite scene now. Like this is my favorite picture from that scene. Like just the back of that. Like holy.
Yeah, I know this artist that does like these posters that are like when it's dark, it turns into like a blacklight thing, so it's a separate image. That would
Yep.
totally be a very cool poster with that
Mm-hmm.
that image right there. That'd be pretty dope.
And
But
it also reminds me of
sorry,
episode 1 poster I had, where it was like back when we're talking about Jake Lloyd as little Anakin Skywalker, and they show him just walking in the sunlight. The shadow portrayed of him is that of Vader. And it's an amazing poster. It's a shame I don't know what happened to that poster, but
yeah. But yeah, so before we were talking about the costume thing with Ahsoka or Rosario Dawson really becoming the character, not just the costume, or not
Right.
feeling like just a costume. I feel like the young Ahsoka, like she played the character well, the voice was good, the mannerisms were good, but it really looked like she was wearing a hat to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it didn't quite like fit as much as I would have liked it to. But other than that, I think she did a really great job. Probably just the costume could have used a little bit better blending technique. I don't know, something.
I feel like I can forgive it though, just because the day. I mean, this was like a one-off. I mean, how often are we going to go back to her as
Young
that person?
Yeah.
So
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
The man, like okay. So can you imagine how Vader would have been without his armor and all that stuff? Like Lord Vader, unstoppable. He would have been, oh man, he would have ended everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, like just watching him turn into the Revenge of the Sith Vader, and you're like, holy crap, like scary as heck. And just the sequence of that scene, the sequence of the fighting, like the saber fighting was just on par. Like just it's definitely not original trilogy, obviously, and it's not prequel. This is like, nobody's jumping around. Like, I'm sure that spin kick that Rosario did was real. You know what I mean? That was her doing it. It was all, it looked authentic. Like, it looked really good. And,
yeah, it looked fantastic.
Props to the work, man. Like, but it also helps, to have somebody like Hayden who's can just flip the switch and come back into this role and just kill it as well. Like, he's, this is what, however many years after he's done it, and it still seems like he hasn't missed a step,
Yeah, I mean, for all of, they said he really got into it too when he was making the movies. So yeah,
he was super excited to come back. Like, how can you not like being a part of this, right? But he was really, it looks so good. It looks, oh man, I want more. I want more. I feel like we've been kind of cut short, but I get it, right? You don't want it to be full of all that, but it was, from what we got, it was great.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, we don't want it to become Skywalker story.
No, exactly, and that's it, right? We don't want it to overtake the whole thing, and I feel like that kind of I don't know. It felt like he was there, and it, just having Vader, Anakin Skywalker involved in anything, I find it kind of becomes the main thing. But I feel they did well with balancing it, right? So, but yeah, man, and we're just talking about this Clone Wars stuff and Anakin stuff, but there's a couple other things in the episode, I guess, too, right? But
I didn't. That covers such a great part of the
it
story.
well, it
So
was
it's
right. And
understandable.
it was a big sequence in the middle of the story, right? In the middle, and they went back to it a couple times. So, but yeah, there was a few other things in the episode.
Yeah.
Us realizing that Jason has his powers. Seems like he's got powers now, right?
Yeah, a little
He's
bit of character development for him as well. A couple
right.
lines and stuff, right?
Yep. We got that.
I mean,
Um,
I do like the way they played it with him. Oh, I mean, it was nothing too powerful, nothing too crazy. Just kind
Right.
of can't you hear that? Almost
Yeah.
like the little inklings of something. Like obviously you could build that and you could turn it into something. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll see a point where he gets to meet Luke Skywalker. Maybe Luke Skywalker takes him to his academy. I don't know. Maybe Ahsoka decides to take him on. We
I kind of have a theory about it, but I don't know. We might want to wait till after the next episode we talk about it. But
that's
Um,
fine. I just throwing things out there at this
yeah,
point.
no, and that could be any of it too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think
Also, sorry, I was gonna say it was
no,
kind of cool that Hera, like when he was saying listen to it, and it shows Hera listening for a while. Seemed like she could also hear it as well when she concentrated well enough. So that
yeah.
was kind of cool.
I hope they're not trying to push force powers on her. Let's give
She's gonna be
everybody
the
force
dark.
powers.
She's gonna be
Hey!
the Dark Lord of it all.
Yeah.
She's
You
all
get
the
a force
Sith right
power,
there.
and you get a force power.
You get one, and you get one. Yeah. But yeah, no. All in all, like, yeah, super, really good episode. Obviously. And yeah, we see the at the end there with the Purgle, her getting out on the ship and like just like talk to me, Purgle, like, like
Yeah, just like Ezra, right?
But
Hugh Yang telling her to get in the ship. Get in the ship. Would you get in here?
I gotta admit, I've loved the character of Hugh Yang to this point.
Oh my gosh, man! Yeah.
I mean, David Tennant is just amazing as that character, and I'm glad they were able to find a way to bring him and that character into this show in a meaningful way.
Oh man, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I've talked to you guys about that before. That like the comedy brought on from droids in Star Wars. I've over the years become very fond of that. It's very
yeah, for sure.
something to look forward to for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna discuss the sort of nude headband scene where she's laying down and she's got no headband. Is like everybody's like, she's naked. and on top of that, she's sort of like donning the that white what is it? Sort of poncho thing that she sort of had at the end of Rebels.
Yeah, her Gandalf the White robe.
The Gandalf the White. So is that like is that like sort of telling us that she's kind of like taken the step further now in her Jedi training or whatever it is? Like, is she now a master?
I would say they are trying to give us that, especially when she beats Anakin in that thing. It's like, yeah, you're a master.
Yeah, takes the lightsaber from him. Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the only other thing that could have possibly happened at that moment that would have been different is if Anakin had basically told her to kneel and he actually knighted her right there. I mean, but that's about the only other thing I could have seen possibly happening. I mean, we've seen it before, so it's not like it's. I mean, we saw Kanan get knighted in Rebels. If you go back to the old Clone Wars series, before
Like the 2D one.
yeah, we saw Anakin get knighted by Yoda. So it's not like it's something we would have never seen before. But I mean, I think that outside of that, yeah, her being in the white robes to show her development, I think it's pretty much the only other thing I would have expected.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Anything else about this episode?
She looks great in the white. I'll say that.
She put on her headband as she went out, so she had to dress up, going
Yeah,
outside,
it's
right?
true. It's true.
Yeah, it's like putting on a bra,
Can't go
I
out
guess.
Fine,
You got to
fine,
put on the headband.
I mean, there were children out there, so
Yeah. Hey, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, there was children watching that episode, probably. I don't know what. Mommy, the headband. Oh no, it's not there.
Oh,
Oh. Where was the rating on this episode? Holy, like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Now it makes me curious. Like, what does Shakti look like without the thing?
oh man.
Oh man. Anyways,
Do we want to go on to part 6?
let's move on. Yeah.
All right. So, Swamgrass, you want to take this one, or you want me to do it?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do it. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna drink a little water.
You've done enough reading, Eldor.
Okay.
All right, part 6. Far, far away. Runtime 80. Doesn't matter. 48 minutes. While traveling with the Purrgil. By the way, I forgot to say the Purrgil looked amazing in that.
Yeah, they look really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Traveling with the Purrgil, Ahsoka and Huyang discuss Ren's choice in siding with the enemy to find Ezra. Meanwhile, the Eye of Sion arrives at Peridia, the ancient homeworld of Elspeth's people known as the Dathomiri. Dathomiri, the Night Sisters.
Dathomiri,
Anyways,
yep.
Elspeth, Skull, Shin, yeah.
Jin.
And Ren meet the Great Mothers. A group of Night Sisters allied with Thrawn. As they wait for the Grand Admiral's arrival, Skull relates to Shin his belief that the fall of the Jedi and the rise of the Empire were part of an inevitable cycle, one he intends to break. Thrawn arrives with his Star Destroyer, the Chimera, and honors Skull's promise by providing Ren with provisions, Howler mount, and the latest intelligence on Bridger's whereabouts. After Ren leaves, Thrawn orders Skull and Shin to follow her at their own pace so they can kill both her and Bridger. Surviving an ambush by bandits, Ren encounters the native Noti and follows them to their village, where he reunites with Bridger. While tracking, Ren's Skull senses that there's greater power on Peridia and tells Shin that he intends to find and use it. Anticipating Ahsoka coming with the Purrgil, Thrawn demands the details of her history from Elspeth and orders her to kill any arriving Purrgil. Directed by Jennifer Getzinger, written by Dave Filoni.
There was so much to break down.
Holy.
There was so much to break down in this episode.
I know. This episode was crazy.
The only disappointing thing for me in this episode was how easily she found Ezra Bridger.
Okay.
I think I feel like it should have taken a little bit more than it did. Like, it almost feels like she found him in less than a day. Like, she went out traveling, and 2 hours later, she already found him. To me, that's kind of how it felt. It's like maybe it should have taken a little bit longer than that, but that's besides the point. And um, outside of that, that's the only real letdown for this episode. Everything else was amazing because I mean, first off, anything I was worried about Thrawn not being great in live action, yeah, that went away really fast.
Out the window. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, he is every bit the
And
he's every bit the Thrawn that I was hoping he would be. I loved it. Go ahead,
He
Swamp.
put on a little weight.
oh,
Put
I
on
was
a
just
little
gonna
weight.
mention. Yeah, I was just gonna mention that you guys were saying that they would potentially have like a very small role, and I feel like they already surpassed that by just having him in that episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Um, even at the end of the episode when he's suddenly like, I want information, I want everything you know about Ahsoka Tano. It's like I'm so excited for when he realizes that she's
Anakin.
She's the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker.
I know, yeah, because they have history for sure.
Because
I feel like
because
they're
he,
don't they interact with each other in Rebels?
ooh,
Like at some point, like doesn't Ahsoka in the fight against Thrawn like appear? I don't know. It just seems
no,
like no.
no, she was never.
Hmm.
Um, Thrawn shows up in season 3, and Ahsoka was gone by the end of season 2.
I see. So it's not really there's not much chance that they actually I don't know. It just seemed like to me weird that he doesn't know who Ahsoka is at that point. I guess
Well, I
maybe
mean,
they didn't.
he never had much of a reason to need to know. I would say. I mean, given his own experience with Vader, and knowing that Vader was Anakin Skywalker, and knowing what Anakin Skywalker was, I mean, if he thought he had his hands full, he's gonna know he has his hands full.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like Thrawn is a very like a genius, but also very submissive to the the rankings of the Empire. So like, I'm sure I'm sure there was encounters between him and Vader where he's like Vader's telling him to do something, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I will do it." You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, I know him and Vader had a mutual respect for each other.
Yeah.
I haven't read all of the stories, but there is one of the stories is basically him going on a mission with Vader, and the two of them having needing to complete a mission together, and that was how. And obviously, Ron, being the smart guy that he is, he's able to put two and two together and determine this was Anakin Skywalker. Vader, right. He kind of unwittingly lets Vader know, I know who you are, without really giving it away. And yeah, there's a lot of mutual respect between them. I want to read the story, so I'm not going to try to sit here and act like I know it. But
I think there was they could honestly, they had their own things going on. I don't think they really cared too much about each other's things that were going on.
Yeah.
I think Thrawn knew of what Vader was and how powerful he was. And I think he kept him kind of there. He's like, okay, we'll keep an eye on him. He's very powerful, blah blah blah. Him being the genius that he is, always having keeping things in play or whatever. But I think they had respect for what they did in the Empire, whatever it was. But I think relating to their own causes, they could care less what each other was doing, if you know what I mean. So that's what I gather. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere or watched something like that or whatever.
Nice.
But anyways,
I just remembered a super awesome scene from the last episode that I didn't mention that I really, really liked when Yang and Hera are searching the water looking for Ahsoka.
Mm.
And then she's like, he says something about Ahsoka's master, and she's like, "Oh, what was her master like?" And then he just kind of like squints, then like looks at her, and he's just like, intense.
intense, yeah.
That was great.
Very intense, yeah.
But I
Intense.
feel like that was an opportunity for them to be like, "Oh, you have met him before, Darth Vader." You know what I mean?
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know already?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
yeah, probably not.
she has met Darth Vader in Rebels. Like they
Yeah.
fought against him directly, right? So
Well, they fought,
uh,
and they fought him, but I think the only one that obviously figured it out was Ahsoka, right? Because I don't think
right,
Ahsoka was
yeah,
like, "This is Anakin Skywalker."
yeah.
No,
But I
no.
mean, Hu Yang probably knows, right?
Oh, for
I would
sure.
say,
Hugh
yeah,
Yang's been around since the beginning, right?
right,
Long time.
Yeah,
yeah.
she never even told Ezra or Keenan
No,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Sorry, Eldor, were you finished what you were saying? I feel like I maybe interrupted
Um,
what you were saying about that episode there.
wow, there's so much to cover.
There's still so much to talk about.
Yeah.
We haven't crushed
Okay,
anything yet.
how about I'll go for a bit here. Then we'll talk about the Night Sister stuff. I really love the Night Sisters and the Night Sister art that they're incorporating into it. And Captain Enoch, he's got this new character, Thrawn's right hand man, seems very cool. I feel like the voice is a little bit too robotic for me to really like. I wish it was sounded more like a person. But anyways,
It's the
very cool
helmet.
character. I think the helmet looks very cool. It's
Oh,
like very
amazing.
Night
Yeah, it does.
Sistery, like gold. He's got the gold in his armor, so you can tell he's like, very loyal to Thrawn and has probably done a lot to earn that, that privilege to be his guy. And yeah, the Night Sister armor, or sorry, the Night Sister threads on the armor of the stormtroopers just looks so cool, and they're all like dusty and they just look badass.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the name Enoch has like biblical meaning, right?
Connotations. Yeah.
It so it means loyalty, right? Like so I think it fits. It seems like it's either fitting for what he's done already or something that's going to happen in the future. I don't know. I think it has some meaning to the name. But the mask, like the helmet, I think is going to be like the next helmet that every fanboy and girl buys. Like that's like the craziest helmet.
Pretty cool.
It's so cool. It was so, and it's so like with the reveal, you're like, what is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was really cool. Yeah, the whole, like, even all the details too. If you look at Thrawn when he was walking, and I only noticed this after, was somebody pointed out the picture, and I had to go back and watch it after. And it, like, his uniform. You notice his uniform was like all raggedy, had like
Is it?
little, oh yeah, it had like patches on it. Like the little clip up here was all like raggedy up here. Like it's like he hasn't had. Well, I mean, he's been stuck there for however long. You know what I mean? But it just, I guess they don't have the his tailor, it must have died or something on board. I don't know, like, but it's just the attention to detail was crazy. But that the reveal of that the night troopers was pretty cool. And his entrance, obviously with the organ playing with his music, man, like that was so chilling, man. Like just the goosebumps. You're like, whoa, man. It was so exciting.
It's like I'm always a sucker for Thrawn's theme anyway.
Oh,
And
oh
so
man,
that just kind of made it even better for me. I do want to jump back onto the Captain Enoch second.
sure.
I'm also very excited just because I don't know if you guys have seen a TV show called The Expanse.
Yeah, he's from there.
Yeah,
the
and
actor.
I really liked him on The Expanse, so I'm
Well,
really hoping they gave him a.
he was like one of everybody's favorite on Expanse, from what I hear. Yeah, so
Yeah, great
Sorry, what
character.
is Expense?
It was a sci-fi show that used to be on Sci-Fi Network, and Amazon Prime took it over.
Okay. Oh, the actor who plays Enoch you're talking.
Yeah,
yes,
He
yeah,
was he
yep.
was on that show. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yep.
and
Gotcha.
great actor. Really liked him on that show. I'm kind of hoping that they give him a really good run on this.
Well, I feel like if they're casting somebody like that, you know, he has some sort of name in the sci-fi sort of industry, I guess, or whatever. Like, I don't feel they're going to be, hopefully not too, and even like the reveal, like his helmet, he looks like, I hope it's not another Captain Phasma. That's what I'm hoping it's not going to be. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say,
When Captain Phasma was first shown, you're like, oh man, this is so cool. And then like her death, you're like, okay.
and I think that's kind of why I'm bringing it up, because it's like you picked a good guy to go into this role.
Right.
Let it mean something.
Please let it mean something.
Yeah.
And that's where I mean the name. Hopefully the name sort of relate like has some meaning towards the character arc, right?
Mhm.
So I don't know.
I mean, it looks like he's going to be basically his right hand man throughout this whatever is going on here. Whereas if you go back to the original Thrawn trilogy, it was Rook, who was the little guy that was in Rebels.
In Rebels, yeah. Rook.
So yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then he should have a good story throughout this whole thing, and I'm hoping that is how it plays out. I mean, obviously there's definitely differences from where the old trilogy would have met this one at this story at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I'm liking where this is going. Yeah, I mean, I loved the other thing I really loved was when the Chimera actually came up and into scene. You could see
To see it again.
well, not only just to see it, but I mean, you could still see the image underneath the ship.
Yeah.
You can still see that, but you look at the Star Destroyer, it's like there's so much. That thing is a wreck, and
Held together by all that gold.
Yeah, and there's barely. I mean, there's a lot of armor plating that's off of the ship. It's like this ship took some damage. I mean, the fact that it's still holding together at all is a wonder. But it was really cool to see it that way.
Yeah, it was.
Um,
Oh yeah, something we were talking about off air that we didn't talk about that relates to this is also to possibly all those storm or some degree of those stormtroopers could be reanimated through the Night Sister magic, as we seen with the shoot, what was the name? The Marok, super memorable character that had all this hype at the
Marok,
beginning,
yeah.
and then just turned out to be some sort of zombie uh,
Zombie Inquisitor.
recreation
Mhm.
thing from the Night Sister magic. So yeah, there's a strong chance these stormtroopers are reanimated. Thrawn talks about losing a lot of soldiers and all that. So yeah, I think there's a strong possibility that's what we're looking at here.
and I think that would be really cool as well. I mean, like, I'm excited to see if that's really the case with this, because I mean the stormtrooper armor. I mean how some of it's just all destroyed, torn up. These guys are barely holding themselves together, but they look battle tested.
Oh yeah, they don't look like you want to fight them. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's really. Yeah, I get goosebumps just looking at all this stuff and waiting to see what's gonna happen.
I feel like they've had like a lot of run-ins with those bandits on that planet too, right? I feel that might be the how some of their loss might have happened, right?
Yeah.
No, that's probably the case.
Yeah, because they've
too.
been there a long time, right? Yeah.
Or maybe this power that Balin is searching for, they might have
Encountered that.
encountered, you know? Like who knows? Like there's more on this planet that we don't know, that hopefully they reveal some more in the next couple episodes.
Yeah, there is, and I mean, I've looked at some theories and about what they were saying, and I don't want to get into theories. I'm worried about theories now, but some of the stuff they've brought up has been interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Obviously, it's getting into characters that people wouldn't know about, and
right, yeah. Actually, I think I've seen a couple of them. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
But
one thing we didn't touch is Sabine taking care of those bandits. She looked pretty good. Like we seen her earlier fighting against Shin, who's a Force user, and she kind of got beat up. But then fighting against common bandits, she seemed to really hold her own with that lightsaber there.
Well, I like that. I like that she went to her blasters first. And
yeah.
I mean, I'm still not convinced of this idea that people really want her to be a Jedi. In my eyes, she's not a Jedi. she's
well,
a
I feel like it was kind of like strongly confirmed by this episode when the Night Sister, not even knowing who she is or anything like that, says it reeks of Jedi.
And yeah, I didn't pick that up, and I'm gonna tell you why. I get, because I get what you're saying, and you would, on first glance, you would think, oh, they said she's a Jedi. She's been around. Yeah. She's been around probably outside of Luke Skywalker, the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy.
And, sure. She would
and she's
have some.
So I'm thinking it's Ahsoka they sense around her and teaching her and helping her. That gives them that impression.
That could be. You could be right.
Because I'm just,
sort of like a stench. The stench of Jedi's on you.
Yeah.
Hey, that could be it.
That could be it, right?
But yeah. I mean, I just don't see. Maybe it's her wanting to be able to do something, also, even though she's not a Jedi. I just can't go to that idea that she is. It's like I said in the last episode that we did. That if she goes her whole life and she's training and she's trying and she can like barely nudge a cup at some point in her life, I could see it. But I'm not going to see where suddenly she's going to start force pushing everything, moving giant rocks, be the most adept, be better than Anakin Skywalker with a lightsaber. I just can't see them pushing that narrative with this.
No, I think it's more based towards the skill of fighting and the sense of like the feeling of like the sort of Spidey sense or the Jedi sense or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that's all they're pushing the narrative towards. I don't think they're pushing towards her being able to lift people or push people or, do mind tricks or whatever. Like, I don't see it.
Pull down the Chimera.
Yeah, bring down the entire Chimera. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, because like if this stuff starts happening in the next episode, I'm sorry, my immersion's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit there, Dave. No.
Dave, no. Dave. Yeah. Yeah.
But
What else, guys? Like, what else have we got in this episode?
I think there's still quite a bit. I mean,
There's all kinds.
I
All
think
kinds.
despite everything, they did a great job with Ezra.
Despite
Oh,
it, well,
amazing.
I mean,
yeah,
I think the
I think it's
voice and
better
the
than it
mannerisms was
yeah.
really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they really did a great job with his character. I want to say JLA had mentioned that he kind of was made to look like his father. Which, if you look at the pictures from Rebels, yeah, I could see it, and it looked really good. I just kind of hope next episode, when Balin and Shin finally meet them, Ezra just senses and takes his lightsaber back, and I'm not expecting him to be a completely adept Jedi as a person who probably hasn't done anything in a few years, but maybe as someone that maybe it's starting to come back to me as it goes through.
I think the opposite. I don't know. I think he has. I think he's over the years. I think he's probably got more powerful. I think.
I also am of this mind.
And I don't think he's going to take his lightsaber back. I think that's hers now. I don't think she's going to give it to. He's going to be. Maybe she'll go. Here's your lightsaber, and he's going to be like, no, I don't. No, I don't need it. Maybe he.
I mean, if he comes out and says, "Oh, don't worry about that. I made my own," okay, I'll let that go.
Yeah, that's exactly
I'm
what
thinking.
I think. I think we're gonna find out more about his story on this Peridia planet, and that he does have a lightsaber that he fashioned while he was there, and it's gonna be super badass.
Yeah, I think that's
what I think. Yeah, he's gonna be like old man Luke there, like fishing with the spear and
drinking the blue milk.
Yeah. That'll be yeah, maybe.
In the beard, the beard is there, right? So
the beard is there.
But yeah, no, I do feel like he's become more one, I guess, with the Force. I guess that's a good way to put it. Over the years, I guess. I mean, obviously he's hidden himself enough from Thrawn, and obviously the great mothers can't detect where he is, obviously. So
he must be doing something right.
He must be doing something, you know what I mean? He's gotta be, because if the mothers can detect off Sabine and can detect if Ahsoka's coming, she's coming in on Purgle, well, he's got to be doing something that throws them off, you know.
But then again, also, if he is, more powerful, his mission was to like stop Thrawn. You'd think he would, finish the job, so to speak.
Maybe he has been trying.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? There's quite the gap right now. You know, it's been like 10 years or something.
Or maybe
there's a lot we don't know. For sure.
We don't know.
Or maybe that's why we have such an undead army of stormtroopers.
That too. Well, the theory. Okay, so if you look at the picture of him, his chainmail underneath his it looks like stormtrooper
Blaster.
tags. No, army tags. It looks like they're like army tags, like military tags. He put it together underneath him or something. I mean, I don't know if it would be good for armor, you know what I mean? But maybe it's like it's like a trophy or something.
It's probably better than stormtrooper armor.
Oh, probably. The little metal tags that they get.
Yeah.
It's better than their armor.
It's better than their armor.
But anyways, like that's been like, it looks like it. I don't know if because obviously the next episode, I think we'll know a little bit more about Ezra's story. Hopefully, like we'll get a little feel of what he's been doing or whatever. But
I wonder if they'll do flashback with young Ezra.
That they've done it already with Ahsoka, so who knows? They could probably do it with him. But I don't know. We'll see. I think I don't know. I don't know how deep they're going to go into the story with Ezra, but we're definitely going to see a little bit for sure.
I mean, at this point, I think it could be more. We may not see that story just yet for this season, but maybe as the next season goes on, we might start to see more.
Or maybe it's going to be as vague as sort of Balin's kind of backstory, too, right? Where he
Yeah,
just
even
like,
the Sabine Ahsoka thing, I thought we would see more of a sort of flashback to
yeah,
what happened in between there, but not really. They just kind of dropped it and moved on, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, like the detail though, like his scar on his face, like the scars on his face, on his, I think left cheek. He's got the scars there. They were there. Just yeah, his mannerisms, like it.
Yeah,
He's playing it so far, like the little bit that we've seen, right?
yeah, yeah. It looks really great.
But what else? We got those little noti, the turtle rock
Oh yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah. I was saying it kind of looks like I'm not sure, 100% sure if I'm recalling this correctly, but I know there's a scene in Mando where there's this little bandit dude that steals his jetpack. Season 2, I think, of The Mandalorian, and I think it kind of looked like these guys, like a little turtle dude.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
I do
remember
remember.
that.
I do remember the scene that he straps the jetpack onto this creature. I just can't picture the I can't picture the
What it
creature
looks
that he
like.
did. Yeah,
Uh,
but I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not. I can't think of that either. Yeah, I can't think of it. But yeah. What else? What else? Because there's still other
So
things.
what do you guys think? So Balin keeps talking about this power he's being, and I know this probably goes down the path of the theories that you probably don't want to talk about, but just like what do you guys think it is? I don't know. We don't have to dive too far into it. Just like
Just a general.
just general, yeah, general.
For me, I think it would. I would love to see another one of these kaiju we've been seeing in some of the other shows, like a giant monster. I think something like that would be kind of cool. Maybe a Zilla Beast or something like that.
Mm.
I don't know if I think it's that. Um,
You think it's another being though, right?
me, yeah, it's something. I don't know what. It could maybe the only other thing I could think of offhand is Bendu.
Mm.
Bendu, okay,
Trying to think if
Which
maybe.
the landscape kind of. I feel like it kind of doesn't look like that area, but the Bendu probably can potentially travel. I don't know if we really know too much about it. It's a pretty mysterious thing.
But I mean, that was the one thing that brought. It is one thing that brought out true fear in a Thrawn.
Right.
True. So the theory would maybe be that Bendu hopped a ride on the Purgle with the Chimera, maybe.
Oh.
Bendu is the Purgle.
Oh.
No, I don't. I mean, it's possible that this could be like this, I don't know, Dathomiri great, I don't know, force wielding thing that
Like
Balin's
Asajj
being pulled
Ventress.
towards. I don't know, maybe like that's what it
Oh
feels like.
man,
He's
that would
searching
be
out to
amazing.
find like, but he keeps saying like he wants to end the cycle and all that stuff. And you're like, what is he like? He's just talking cryptic, like
Mhm.
end
Yeah,
the
he's
cycle, end the Order 66, like the cycle of Order 66, and end that, like break the cycle. That's what he kept saying. You're like, all right, you're old. Just stop repeating yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. We get it, old man. You're
we
delirious.
get it,
Yeah.
old man. You've been through a lot. All right.
Break the cycle.
Yeah, no doubt. Did
Uh,
you have your medication today?
yeah.
Uh,
Anyways, yeah, no.
She's
Um,
she's shit on her. Take your pills. Take your
take your
pills.
pills. Are you sure that's a good idea, Master? Take your
uh,
pill. No, I still like any scene that Ray was in too. Again, he's just killed. Like all the dialogue that he does is just like what a legend. Like
epic,
epic,
epic.
man. It's sad, but he's
Yeah, he's a very like powerful character. I'm really like I said, just knowing that he's passed makes me pay a lot more attention to his character and
right.
how it's
Yeah, it's
played and all
nuts.
that.
It's
So
nuts.
good.
It is just a
So
shame
good.
because it seems like whatever is happening here, it's it's not playing to a character that wasn't going to survive the season. It's definitely
Right.
playing to somebody that had a purpose moving forward in this. And
Usually to something has to give at the end. Like somebody has to get defeated, and if we know there's a season 2, it's probably not Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Well, I
right?
figure now they're bringing on two more characters. Like we've mentioned this before. I mean, they're bringing on more characters. One or two has got to go eventually. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, we already lost Maroc, so there's got to be somebody else that's gonna go too, right? So,
yeah, but
Rip Maroc, Rip Maroc,
rip
everybody's favorite.
#rip Maroc.
I
but
just think it's so crazy. There was so much hype around this Inquisitor character, and then just it's a nothing burger.
I know, right?
I mean,
uh,
Yeah.
I think my thing though is even though like we're at the end of a season, this is just the beginning of the story.
Yep.
Is I mean, because this is supposed to span this. It's supposed to span potentially a second season, the next
Well,
season
no,
of the
no,
Mandalorian.
they were actually starting to work on the second season already of Ahsoka before the strike. That's what they
Okay,
had said.
so second season
yeah,
Ahsoka.
Yep,
in the works.
in the
Yeah.
works.
The next potential 2 seasons of the Mandalorian, a movie. We don't
Possibly
know.
another Boba Fett.
Yeah, possibly another Boba Fett.
Another Boba Fett. Who knows?
And if the option was there, it was going to hand into the Rangers of the New Republic series that we're not going to get now. So this was something that was going to span at least over 5 seasons of television before we even got to a movie. I don't
Right,
necessarily need to see characters killed off just yet. Maybe slowly as the seasons go on, but at the end of the very first season, you could have kept everybody and just kept building the story.
Oh
And
yeah, we
and
lost one already. We're good.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like you
Maroc.
said,
Rip.
hashtag Maroc,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
so far I'm okay with it.
Or JLA says space fart.
Space fart.
Space fart. A screaming
Yeah.
space fart.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Anyways. Uh what else? Anything else in the episode, guys? What was the so there's the infusion of the gold with the armor. What was that called? I don't remember what they called it. Like it's like a Japanese thing or something.
I don't remember.
Kira something. Kira, I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, has some significance to that kind of culture, I guess. I don't know, but it kind of it's kind of a Thrawn thing, because they seem to like to be kind of, it almost, his kind of stuff was sort of like, the art of war, all that stuff, sort of almost Japanese-ish stuff. I don't know, like,
To me, that's also the appeal of his character. Is his depth of knowledge and research into everything he's into, and in the his ability to play chess at the level he does, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
Uh,
feel like his strategic know-how is kind of based on, like you were saying, like the art of war, like Sun Tzu, like really ancient philosophies and stuff like that. So
right.
it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
but it's like know everything about your opponent, not just don't just know what their strategic mind is like. Know what their history is. Know what their art is. Know what their culture is like. Every little bit of it factors in, and it, like I said, that it really makes Thrawn an appealing character, just because you know this guy is so far ahead and for so many good reasons, and how and how do you put it best? Until you're until you find yourself as Thrawn's opponent, you don't realize just how far behind you.
Right. So can we just talk first quickly? I guess not first, but quickly talk about how like bang on Lars is doing with the voice still. Like it's still like
Yeah.
you close your eyes, man. You're like, oh, I'm back in Rebels. Like this is insane.
Yeah,
Like his dialogue is just great, man.
Hmm.
Oh, and his like his just the mannerisms again, like where he goes to the great mothers at the end there and he's like, what is this thread of whatever, and he's just like, oh, this is something that we haven't seen or was not told or whatever it was,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And
because they didn't predict
they didn't predict
that
that Ahsoka
Ahsoka
was
was
coming.
coming.
And then
Yeah,
his face,
that's
he's
right.
just like staring straight ahead, but he's talking at like Morgan Elsbeth, and you're like, oh man, so cool. Like she's like
Yeah.
trembling. I'm like, like this guy's got no power, but you're just, like, you know what I mean? Like, uh, it's just nuts. Like he's doing such a great job.
well, it's just like
Yeah.
even in Rebels when in the scene where Kanan dies, and I can't remember what her name is. The
Oh, the director Price,
Yeah, Governor Price. That's it.
Governor Price,
Governor
yep, yep,
Price. Yeah.
Governor.
And basically, basically, she goes and she does what she does, and once she realizes everything is blown up and his TIE Defender project is dead in the water because of what she just did,
Yeah.
and she's like, you can see how scared she is,
Oh, for
but
sure.
at the same time, she's like, I've got to play around this. We killed a Jedi. It was worth it. It
Right.
wasn't worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
And
why he was so upset. He's like, "You think this is a victory?"
yeah,
yeah,
Amazing.
and I think it's those moments because when he started talking, you could see you could see the true rage of Thrawn, and
right.
it's like we haven't gotten there yet. I can't wait to see this in live action.
Uh, yeah, it
Yeah, there's
was.
like the um what's it called? The like you can picture the like vein bulging on his head, like not actually physically, but like you
Hmm.
could just feel the tension, right?
Mm,
Amazing.
And eventually that's gonna happen with Morgan, and it's gonna be fun to see where her fear goes at that point.
He seemed generally impressed with Morgan though to come and get him and all that stuff.
Well,
Just
things
the
have gone well
prediction.
so far.
Actually, also too like the what's called the Great Mothers too. Like they were the ones that were saying that they didn't see it coming or whatever. I think too. So and they look
Um,
awesome, but too. Glad to see like the Great Mothers, like what they look like.
yeah,
uh,
they looked really
Live
good.
action, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
I
cool.
uh, I agree. When I played Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, I was also a Night Sister fanatic. So having a nice Night Sister team was kind of my thing in the early get goes. But yeah, they looked really the thing that I'm curious about is how come? So the Great Mothers, they seem to be the the elders or whatever it is. Um, are all three of them supposed to be together like that? Like, are they from
Three
different?
separate people,
Are
or
they different? Are they from different sections of Dathomir? Well, I don't know, like whatever they are, Peridia or whatever. Like, is it? Is it? I mean, when you're thinking about Mother Talzin, there was only one mother, and then on the other one, they were all like,
But
multiple mothers?
but I think that leads into a great number of questions. I mean, I think we're just starting to scratch the surface of the Night Sisters, so to speak.
Night Sister stuff. Yeah.
It's like okay, so Mother Talzin, was she technically one of these great mothers? Was there four
Right.
of them, and she just ended up going across the galaxy? Um,
Did she end up over there? Yeah.
Or into a different galaxy, right? Because
yeah,
it's separate galaxies, and it seems like in this, like, we're mostly only just being exposed to this one planet in this other galaxy, right? For all we know, that other galaxy might be just full of Night Sister culture, Dathomiri stuff. For all we know.
right. From what we know, once they came across, they landed on Dathomir, and that's where they were.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, but also leads me to some other questions. Are these three great mothers coming along when Thrawn leaves? Are they coming along to help him? Are they staying behind? Are we going to finally look into who they are there? Um, are there other Night Sisters on this planet that we just haven't seen yet? I mean, I
Is
feel like
Ezra just gonna kill them all?
yeah, I just feel like there's so many questions we can actually
Yeah.
throw at this.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to be on this planet for the next two episodes. I think the last episode, um, they're not gonna prevent Thrawn from leaving the planet. I think he does. Obviously, he's got to go off and start his war, right? So I think the last episode, as a, sort of the cliffhanger or whatever it is, Thrawn gets away. I think the Night Sisters. I think the reason why he's bringing the coffins of the, I mean, it could be something else. I don't know, but they do look like coffins of fallen troopers. Um, and I think the reason why he's doing that, so they could be revived on the Dathomir and their galaxy. So that's possibly why the Great Mothers might be going with them. Or maybe one's just going with them and the other two stay behind. I don't know. Like, there's a deal there somewheres that Thrawn and the Mothers made for something,
Yeah,
right?
that could potentially even be like some kind of something that's important to the Night Sisters, like an old DACA type corpse in there, like something very
Oh,
you know,
maybe, yeah.
you know.
Those could be all like Night Sisters that have fallen. I don't know. Like, and this is the deal. Like, this is how they're going to get them to the other galaxy. You transport them
Mhm.
with yeah. Who knows?
I mean,
Who knows?
there's just so much to cover. So many good questions, and it's something I hope that we do eventually start to get answers, because I think it's a whole nother side of Star Wars that I think a lot of people will be thinking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, it was cool. Hu Yang dropping the famous line when he tells the story. He says, "In a galaxy far, far away,"
yeah, that was kind of
or
cool.
a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That was fun. That was fun.
So we have two more episodes left. By the time we do our next podcast, we'll be covering the end of season.
Yep.
Do we have any predictions on what we're going to see in the next two episodes?
Well, we're gonna see more lightsaber battles. That's for sure. Because
I think so. I think so.
that's been a consistent thing in every episode. There's been a climatic lightsaber battle at least in every
At
episode.
least one, yeah.
At least one, right? And like
Yeah.
that's what makes the show like even more exciting in my eyes. You know, having those battle scenes are great. I mean, I love story too, so I mean, I'm not taking away from like Andor and all those shows because I love Andor. It's like one of my favorites. But it's nice to see that there's consistent action in every episode for this show. You know,
Mhm.
I feel like you can say it's better than Andor without disrespecting it.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know.
Uh,
I'm still
okay.
weighing it right now.
All right. All right.
But they're both. It's like 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 1 and 2. I don't know. Like, but they're both 1 and 2. Like,
I mean, to me, the two shows are like apples and oranges. It's like you can't really compare them on the same level because even though they're both Star Wars, it's like two totally different types of story.
yeah,
And
that too. Yep.
but that, like you said, it doesn't take away from the fact that they're both great stories.
Right.
As far as me, obviously, yeah, I'm hoping to see great lightsaber battles. I get the feeling that Ahsoka will arrive just in time to see Thrawn get away, and
Okay.
then we'll basically see Ahsoka get to the planet. If any of the Great Mothers are still there, she might have to fight one of them or something. I could see that. I could see her eventually getting out to wherever it is they need to go. I do have a feeling if they, I don't want to. It's hard because I don't want to see these two characters go away. But if you're going to beat them, this is where you have to defeat Skull and Hati. I think you have to do it here. I mean, obviously, we didn't know Ray Stevenson was going to pass away. But if you were going to beat them once and for all, this had to be where it ends. Technically. But I do think we are going to get a scene where I think they will meet up with Sabine and Ezra. And I have a feeling Balin's going to look at Ezra and not think much of him right off. And he's just going to be like, shouldn't take care of him. And and maybe she's not going to really. If he is a stronger Jedi now, like you're saying, he might be a more powerful. I think that's where it's going to kick in, and it's going to be like, wow, he really hides it well or something.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to underestimate Ezra and just like have Shin take care of him, and she's going to get her ass kicked. As opposed to fighting Sabine and taking that.
Right.
Last episode, obviously, I think that's where you're gonna see towards the end of the episode. That's where Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine probably start heading back towards the main galaxy because Thrawn's already back on his way back there. But I think that's also where we're gonna see Thrawn show up into the galaxy that we know, and we're gonna see the Shadow Council, and he's gonna basically announce he's back and it's time to get back to work. And that's the part that's gonna excite me because, I mean, like I said, I want to get back into seeing some of the characters that I'm excited for, like Captain Paleon, who was technically his right hand in the Empire, outside of like the Rook Enoch kind of character.
Yeah.
I want to see more of him. I want to see more of all of these characters that were in the Shadow Council and see exactly how they react to the Thrawn suddenly re-arriving and all the changes that are going to be made. And I, yeah, I'm just really excited for that stuff. So. But that's me.
So yeah, my prediction is a bit different from you guys. But yeah, so basically I think Ahsoka is gonna make it back. I think we're gonna start off with Ahsoka making her way back there on the Purgle. They're gonna, the what's it called? The Imperial remnants that are with Thrawn are gonna try to take out the Purgle and all that, and she's gonna evade using her awesome ship, by the way. I love that ship, the T6.
Mm.
Mhm.
Looks um yeah, so she's gonna somehow evade and get onto the planet. We're gonna see some kind of Balin finding this mysterious force being that we were talking about earlier, and kind of after that, some kind of reuniting with Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka, and then a grandiose battle with Balin and Shin and this mysterious power. And from there, I think Thrawn is going to escape, and then the good guys will kind of have to follow them on the Purgle after they take care of Balin and Shin. And yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. But I think also too, maybe not this season, but like next season, I think look forward to Jace and Syndulla and his development into a Force user once they go back there. That is.
So this is where I feel that, so this is my theory with Jason, that they're gonna try to develop Ezra as his master, try to train Jason because of the connection between Kanan,
And Ezra.
and Ezra, you know what I mean? So I think they might push that development somewheres down the road, I think.
Oh,
I could see that.
just thought of something. What if that mysterious force is Dune, like Kanan as the
Kanan.
wolf? Oh.
Ow!
uh,
Maybe,
sorry,
man.
that just came
Maybe.
into my head.
Yeah. Um yeah, so I'm sticking, in a nutshell, I'm sticking to the last episode is when Thrawn finally takes off and they fail to stop him from going back to the other galaxy. I think the next episode is the big lightsaber duel. The rebattles, or the battles that going up against them again. I can't think of the word. But they're fighting each other again. There'd be a battle. Ezra will show his, more
Acumen.
powers. His wooden lightsaber that he built out of rock and shell, and I don't know, some
Out
kyber
of a
crystal
turtle shell thing.
out of a turtle shell, and a crystal he sort of made out of sand from the beach. um and anyways, but yeah, I still think that they'll try to stop Thrawn, but I still think in the last episode, I still think that he'll get away. And then I think the final scenes of the last episode, that you'll see the Shadow Council. And again, I do agree with the he announces that he's back in the Shadow Council, and all that stuff. And then it
Oh,
goes up in there.
we also know that Captain Rex is supposed to be in this show, right? Too. So I feel like I also predict that we're gonna have some sort of thing with Hera, because we know she's in trouble with her bosses and all that. We kind of didn't really talk about that though. Like
Yeah,
she,
no. She's getting arrested, by the way, right now.
yeah, she's in doo doo for
She's
coming
in
and
poo
helping
poo. Yeah.
Ahsoka and all that, because they think that she has uh, selfish ambitions of finding Ezra, which of course is true, but whatever. But
Whatever. Yeah.
anyways, there's going to be some kind of thing with her where, maybe she's not welcome in the Republic anymore, goes and finds Captain Rex or something like that, maybe.
I still feel Rex is going to be a part of this at some point, because I know obviously with the flashbacks, but he's already been brought back in, so we just waiting for the helmet to be off now, like, and him to be a part of it with the white beard. By the way, yeah, the white beard, like, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the only other thing I could see is potentially, if, at least in the case of Hera, I don't know if Rex will play into it as much, but maybe either we get that scene where Ahsoka comes back and maybe she presents Ezra, says we found him, at which point,
To Captain Rex, you mean?
no, to the,
Or
to,
to Hera?
well, like maybe she's in her trial with whoever it is that's, I don't know who's convened over the trial, but they present Ezra Bridger, which is the point of, which was one of the goals of what they were going after. Obviously, finding Ezra, finding Thrawn. Oh, by the way, Thrawn is back. But it's either something like that happens, or I don't know if they'll let them go down that road again. But maybe we get even a hologram of Princess Leia kind of popping in and saying, we need to know this shouldn't be happening, we need to stop this right now, or something.
Well, they mentioned her name.
Yeah,
They mentioned her.
And we know she's at a point where she has a very high position in this government, so
Yep.
she's one of the few people that could probably slow this thing down. But I think that comes down to whether or not the family would let them use Carrie Fisher again. Which, I mean, they did in the past. I don't know if they would do it again for something like this. We'll have to see. Let's go from there.
Yeah, I think
that's
that
a
we
big
are
one.
going to be. I think that we are going to be moving back to the, the original galaxy in the next episode, and then we'll have a full episode in the like the original galaxy, we'll call it.
The OG. The OG.
Yeah. That's what I think, though. Just timeline wise, because I know you guys were saying both episodes there and then ending going over there. I think it would be
I
like,
think I'm the only one saying that the last episode.
okay.
That I think Elder was also saying next episode too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Thrawn gets away during the next episode, but basically arrives at the last episode, and that's when you see the, like I said, the shadow count, everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we'll see the Chimera going in, like joining with that Eye of Sion. That'll be kind of cool.
Yeah, I have
If
Scion. Yeah.
yeah, that'll be neat.
All great theories.
Yeah, just hopefully. I think either way.
And watch,
either way we're
none of
for
us get it
something.
right.
Oh,
You know
I'm
what?
sure we're probably off to some degree for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you know what? I would be okay with being wrong as long as the story ends up being good. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I still think it would be cool if Sabine turned to the dark side and Jason Sindula as her apprentice. Yeah.
And suddenly she's more powerful than Vader, and
Yeah.
I am
Yeah,
all
she
the
pulls
Sith.
down the Chimera and it just kills everybody.
I am all the Sith.
I am everybody. Yeah. They
And then
gotta.
she mind controls the Purgle and like rides on one, and yeah.
Just like we all expected to happen.
Rides on the top of it like Ezra did, right? Like a cowboy or whatever. Like, because you could do that in space. Right?
Yeah.
Oh man. On that note, guys. Anything else you guys want to talk about as far as Star Wars, or anything that you think we might have left out today, or?
Oh, I was gonna say like I didn't really. I was telling you guys about that article I seen, and I didn't really add it, but it was kind of funny. There's an article talking about the return of Jabba the Hutt through the Ahsoka series, but it was referring to Star Wars brought out these really cool posters that are Thrawn, the Great Mothers, um, Captain Enoch, and
Ezra.
Jabba the Hutt, who is Ezra
Ezra
Bridger. That's
Bridger,
his
yeah.
his alias, right, in
Is
the
it?
Rebel show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
so that
Jabba the
was
Hutt.
pretty
You're
cool.
like, that's not Jabba the Hutt. What the heck?
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I thought that was a cool throwback to the Rebel show. Yeah.
And Jabba the Hutt.
And the
Nice.
posters look amazing, guys. Like
I
those
know they do.
posters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at a bunch of them. They looked
smart.
good.
Every character in the show almost has got a poster now. Like,
Hmm.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah. Yeah, even those HK droids, they had a cool poster in the beginning there. That was awesome.
Not bad at all.
yeah.
Anything from you, Andy? You want to throw in?
I'm good. I mean, we talked about a lot. There's a lot.
I think
We're good. We'll have a lot to talk about the next episode. So
got that right.
you got that right.
All right. So
Hopefully the strike is over by then too.
yeah,
Probably
that'd be
not,
nice. All right. So yeah, on that note, I guess we're gonna call this the end of our episode 14 of Shadow Collective. So in a couple weeks we'll be back with. We'll be able to cover the end of the Ahsoka series. Hopefully there'll be some other news great news going on that we can talk about. We did have some good things that came up in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll have a bit more. But other than that, hey, Swampgrass, where can we find you, bud?
So normally I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/swampgrass420, but this next week I'm moving, so I'll be on hiatus for a little bit, but I will be back, guys, and it will be great. But yeah, that's normally where you can find me, and yeah.
Hopefully we'll have you back in time for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy Beads, where can we find you, bud?
You can find me on Twitch as well. Twitch.tv/Andy_Beads. I do play Marvel Snap. So if you guys actually Marvel Snap, and I started playing Starfield as well on Twitch as well. So if you guys want to catch that, I try to do one. I can't give you Saturday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern time is usually when I go on for Snap, and then Thursdays and Mondays as well. I don't know the times. Just gotta follow my channel and it'll tell you. So, but yeah. What about you, Eldor?
That's nice. Well, you can find me on Twitch as well, and also on YouTube lately. On Twitch, I've been streaming Galaxy of Heroes and the occasional run on Baldur's Gate 3, which I've been having a great time with. And I've been trying to put up some beginner style videos on YouTube, basically talking about some of the new events that are going on for new players, and hopefully I can keep that going for a while for everybody. Other than that, yeah, that's where you can find me. Darth, basically both places, Darth_Eldor. That's where I'm at.
That's where we're at.
All right. So that being said, guys, those of you who came in to catch us live, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening in. For those that are going to be catching this afterwards, thanks for stopping to listen as well. As always, we're glad to have you around. But this is the end of the 14th episode of Shadow Collective podcast, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you next time. And as always, the Force will be with you.